Are you ready? The Kornelia Stephanie Show. Wake up to love, your call to action. Join Kornelia as she empowers others to live heaven on earth. Kornelia teaches listeners how to be the authority over yourself, embracing your inner guru. Feel yourself uplifted into limitless expansion, integrating ease and grace in a changing world. This show will cover topics such as unconditional love, your physical body, how to be in extraordinary relationships, create financial and emotional wealth, embracing entrepreneurship in the new earth. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kornelia Stephanie Show. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you again today. We have our beautiful, fabulous stories of hope to offer you inspiration, always hearing how people transform their life. A lot of times from tragic circumstances, whether it was on relationship levels, career changes, health challenges, whatever they may be, and how we are able to transform our lives through all of these changes. So I want to introduce us to our first guest today, and that's Cathy Spaas, and she is in Belgium, and she's right now coming on to join us to talk to us about how she transformed her life. She's a world-class expert and speaker on high sensitivity and a retired coach to professional artists and performers. She advocates the superpowers that come along with being HSP and is writing a self-help book for artists who experience spotlight stress and who feel misunderstood. Welcome to the show today, Cathy. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
So you are definitely, the first question is HSP.
Highly sensitive people. So I'm one of those. And most artists are very often without them knowing it about themselves. And it means that we have a deeper way of processing information. We take in a lot more from our surroundings, and we tend to process it on a deeper level in our brain.
Right. And so would you also say that highly sensitive people are more empathic?
Yeah, for sure, because the right hemisphere of our brain is stronger activated than most people. So that means empathy, creativity, thinking in solutions, thinking out of the box, seeing the bigger picture, but also, dance, music, art, it's all in that right hemisphere of the brain. And it is proven scientifically that it is stronger activated for highly sensitive people. And the mirror neurons is one of the things that makes us more empathic, meaning we see something and we tend to experience what we see. And that is also stronger activated highly sensitive people. So it's a big deal.
It is a big deal because, accepting that about yourself, realizing that about yourself so that you can then create the outlets for those creative expressions, right?
Yeah, because for me, it was quite the struggle because I always thought like I was the weird duck in the group. I was always socially capable. I was always having fun. And I was quite expressive. I wasn't a shy kid. I was really outgoing and brave. But I never felt like I really fitted in. It was when I was among my animals that I felt safe. That was my safe spot. So I always knew like something is a little bit strange. I don't feel like I'm at home here. That was the big thing for me. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Because our animals, they love us unconditionally. So the fact that you're feeling safe around your animals because they love you unconditionally. When we're around humans, we are judged. And so that is definitely what stood out to me as soon as you said that. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. And as HSP, we also have a part that is programmed in our brain that we are very susceptible for the opinions of others. We have this particular thing that we call the social context, and we want it to be optimal for everyone else, optimal circumstances. So we will put ourselves last to please everyone else. So what other people think of us is very important to us, meaning that we'll give more weight to it, meaning we'll take things more personally, meaning that it can really drown us if we're not careful with this. And with animals, there's none of that. There's just being and love and expression, and that's really beautiful. And I think that we can do that among people as well. That's just something that we need to teach ourselves so that we can grow and become the person that we want to be, the way we are with animals, but also feel that safe when we're among people.
Yes. And would you say that your discovery of all of this, is that part of your transformation that took place?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that I had to dig really deep because I was, due to bullying at work, stuck in a burnout. And
Yeah.
I really thought I was useless. I was up to no good. I couldn't do anything right. So my self-confidence was like, and I always struggled with feeling happy. That was a little thing for me. I was always on the search for happiness. So I had done for 12 years of spiritual classes, self-education, on self-growth, on all these things. Yet, you always feel like you do improve your life a little bit, but the big change never felt like I found it. And then when I was at the bottom of the well, it felt to me like, you know what, at this point, the only way is up. There's only the light where I can move towards. I am not willing to go any deeper. So the only option is to go up. And so I started to brainwash myself with constructive, positive input. And that really changed my entire life. Everything, every facet of my life has changed since I transformed myself. And since then, I have helped hundreds of other highly sensitive, mostly women and artists, to do this for themselves as well. And that's just the most fulfilling thing that you can do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so beautiful because, we've always been trained and conditioned, whether you're a highly sensitive person or not, but we've been trained and conditioned to put other people before us, to, take care of everyone first. And especially women, that's
Yeah.
just their nature, to make sure that you're taken care of and that you have what you need. And then on top of it, add that highly sensitive person, that's even going to turn it up a notch even more. And and then really transforming that and putting yourself putting yourself first. That has to be practiced, right? Because it doesn't just happen overnight.
No, and it starts with changing your perception, because where we tend to think that we're being selfish when we put ourselves first, or when we think that we are being less meaningful to others when we do that. Actually, it's just shifting that perception towards a more meaningful way of looking at it, as in, I'm putting myself first so that I can serve others on a higher level. And, you will show up with a completely different kind of energy to the party, and you will uplift other people's energy just by being you, not by what you think you have to do or say, but just by being you. And once you start to feel that that is enough, that is actually all they need, that's just, to me, that is magic, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally resonate with what you're saying, that is the magic, because you have basically, your presence is giving the permission for them to experience this also, where before they might have felt guilty, or whatever the perceptions are or feelings are, and stop themselves. But really putting the self first, this is all part of our new earth also, because we've always left ourselves out of the equation by putting everyone else first. And the more that you are full and that your cup is full, now you're giving from your overflow, and that is, infinite. It's effortless, right?
Yeah. And I believe that the more you allow yourself to let that diamond within shine, the more you will inspire others to do the same by leading by example. You are showing them how it's done by just being, and that is enough. And that is so inspirational. And people, they learn best by watching other people's behavior. So be that example by just, feeling that you're enough, by letting your diamond shine full out. And that, I think, that is what we all should be doing.
Yes, you're a wonderful role model for us in this. So let's tell the audience where they can look you up and learn more about what it is that you do and on social media.
Yeah, so if they look up my name on Instagram, Cathy Spaas, LinkedIn, Facebook, you can find me everywhere, but especially on YouTube and on my website, which is kathyspaasacademy.com. And on YouTube, it is Spotlight Stress. Also, if you check out the website, spotlightstress.com, there is also a free guide for 10 mistakes why we are stuck in spotlight stress. And I think a lot of us feel a lot of pressure to perform and to show up in a certain way. So that is a little bit to support in that area. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for all of that. I'm definitely going to follow you on YouTube as well. So I'll be looking you up there. And I wanted to ask you, you said you're a mom. And so how old are your children?
1 and 3. Yeah.
1 and 3. Well, I just want to say what a wonderful role model you are for your children, because you are raising the future leaders of our world, and they're having that example, that role model of what it looks like to be in your full essence as you're, living your life, right?
When I have enough sleep, 100%. The other days, maybe a little bit less, but I think that's part of being human as well, probably. Absolutely. But thank you. That is so kind of you.
Oh, appreciate yeah, definitely. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We're going to take a break on the Kornelia Stephanie Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. It's so exciting always listening to these incredible people that are doing dynamic and amazing things in their lives. So my next guest is Gavin Scott. He is an impact leader, a motivational speaker, a podcaster. Gavin Scott leads a life of service. He was a former real estate developer who lived solely for selfish means, and he gave it all up to share his wisdom with others so that they may live a more prosperous and fulfilling life. After discovering that mindset is everything and simultaneously experiencing his awakening, he has been able to change his vibrational state from negative to positive very quickly. He says it's a practice, so each time you get better at it. Gavin also suffered with depression, battled with obesity, and experienced financial devastation. Welcome to the show today, Scott Gavin.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's Gavin Scott, not Scott Gavin. It's two first names. It's interesting. Well, I have two first names too, Kornelia Stephanie. So I can, people sometimes call me Stephanie because they feel like, so I can relate to this.
You can call me Scott Gavin. That's cool.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for coming on. So what impresses me about you right away is how you were a real estate developer, and yet there was a greater calling for you to become a motivational speaker and to go more the personal development route, where you can really shift your vibrational frequency and mindset and create a life that is more in alignment with your soul's calling. And so, and then you gave up the real estate business and you created this business. And so, and you, like you said, you've been in financial devastation. You've had a lot of changes. So how did you transform all of that?
Well, I mean, if we just kind of go through my life, I'm early 40s now, and there's been various stages where I've had a real sense of my own spirit and lived with it. And then there's been times when it's been buried, and I've not seen it for a long time. And back of 2017, my investors decided to bankrupt me and my development company so that they could take my profit for their own profiteering, which wasn't strictly illegal because there was a loophole that they used, but it was extremely immoral. So I went searching afterwards and did some traveling, and I came across, mindset, and all of a sudden it just clicked. There was this idea that I wasn't in alignment, and that things on our path and our journey happen to us for a reason. And if you take it to heart all the time and you allow your emotions to lead your life, then you're probably not going to lead a very sort of fulfilling life, because we're all human. The human emotions just come and go, and they can be high and low. So if you're not aware of them and if you're not in control of them, they can take you to uncontrollable places. And I really think the pandemic was unhealthy for that. A lot of people cooped up inside, away from nature, away from friends, away from family, away from their passions and their pleasures. So there's a lot of work to be done right now. I like to think that I'm a walking, talking sort of evidence of my own work. I'm always working on myself and my own practice. So, there are things that I can change state very quickly in, and there are things that it takes me a bit longer, and there are things that it takes me a lot longer to change state in. And it's just really dependent on how much you've practiced each section. Obviously, we can't practice them all in the space of wave your wand and it's done. That's not the way it works. It's work. We've got to go inside. It's a spiritual journey, a journey of self-discovery. So yeah, basically once that came to the forefront of my mind and I realized just how powerful it wasn't about wanting to get riches and be materialistic anymore. It was really about, helping people and getting fulfillment from that, and showing them that there is a different side to life that society has hidden from us for a long, long time. And the original idea of society and community, they tried to work it out, but greedy people got in the way, nasty people got in the way. And now we've got this really closed mind where we're being put sort of herded through a gate, in a certain way. For example, you're expected to work hard 9 till 6, have a family, die at a reasonable old age and happily ever after. And that's just not life. Life has the ability to be so much more pleasurable and fulfilling than that, if you're willing to access your true self, your true nature, your genuine essence, what is authentic about your own soul. And to do that, we're not talking about your character, we're talking about your soul. And so, people often say, well, I'm loyal, I'm honorable, I do this, I do that. And that's got nothing to do with it. Character is different from your soul. So to really nourish one's soul, you've got to go and meet it. And so many people haven't. So what I do and what I will continue to do and what I hope to do is to affect over 10 million people by reconnecting them with their true souls.
That's excellent. I love that you have that vision and that you also have the experience yourself, because you know what it's taken for you to shift your mindset and your thought process through the various different experiences that you had. So why don't we tell the audience how they can follow you on social media, and also how do you plan on helping millions of people transform and shift into this vibration? How are you planning on doing that?
Great question. There is only one way that I truly know, and that is authentic leadership. Lead by example, inspired by, taking inspirational action. So I just swam the English Channel from England to France at the end of September to raise money for the ocean cleanup. And, I was never a swimmer. It was just something that came to me during the lockdowns, that I wanted to help clean the oceans of plastic pollution. And so now, as part of my mission, I try and really educate people by inspiration rather than sort of, tackle it by force. And
Yeah,
so
so are you talking about inspiring people through witnessing you with like what you just did, in doing it that way rather than doing it, like with coursework or that type of way?
Yeah, I mean, look, basically anyone that wants to come on one of my courses or programs or anything like that wants to know, does it work?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
When you buy a product, you want to know it works.
yeah.
You're parting with your hard-earned cash, and that's the right approach. And so I'm not looking for people to be like, I don't know, I don't get the feeling. I want people to say, you know what? I know this guy. I've been watching him. I've followed him. I absolutely believe him. His actions are of complete integrity. I want what he's got. The only way to do that is go where I've not been and go where somebody has that's got what I've want, and just demonstrate to people that you can live this life in a different way.
I love that. I love that. It shows that you have definitely thought this through and you know how you're going to inspire millions of people, which is fantastic. So let's tell the audience how they can find you.
They can find me across all social media channels as Stay Outstanding Podcast. We have a Facebook group called the Stay Outstanding Tribe. You're welcome to join that. There is a Telegram channel. Stay Outstanding Podcast on Instagram. I'm sure we're on all of the others. If you go to the website, stayoutstanding.com, you can subscribe to our newsletter, and we will make sure that you're up to date and have all the links if you wish to follow us on any of our social medias and keep up to date with events. So that's the best way, really.
I really like that because what you're doing, you want to show, you want to inspire people through your own example of however you're going to express it, and then then they can see, like you said, I've been following this guy, I watch this guy, I want what he has, and I want more. Because that's the other thing, is that when people see you do extraordinary things, that you develop a sense of community and unity, and they want more. So I think, how you want to do this. So I wish you all the best.
Thanks, yeah, so much. It's one of those things, when I first started out with the Channel Swimming Mission, nobody really gave 2 cents. And at the end, everyone was tuning in to the GPS location, the tracker, and checking where I was. And people are still messaging me saying, what happened? Did you? And all this stuff. So you can create this sort of, momentum, but you've got to stay the course, because there's going to be doubters, that you're going to be your own worst enemy at times with your ego. And you truly, truly got to stay the course to your own mission.
we're going to leave it there. Gavin Scott, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Stay the course, everyone. Stay the course. That's the number one thing. We have to stay the course, hold the line, don't give up, and don't listen to the naysayers, and don't let doubt creep in. Go live your dream. And that's what we're here to do. We want to thank you all for tuning into the Kornelia Stephanie Show. As always, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you, everyone.
You've been listening to the Kornelia Stephanie Show, Wake Up to Love, your call to action. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio. Kornelia's joy is to engage others in practical ways, showing us how to live in the new earth in harmony with our true nature. For more information on Kornelia and her extraordinary work, or to listen to past shows, go to her website at korneliastephanie.com.